My fiancée said, "You'll have to think about getting a vasectomy. I'm not going to ruin my body for your children." I replied, "Interesting." Then she went to work. While she was gone, I canceled the wedding. I placed the ring on the table, along with a note, one that changed her life completely. I'm 32 years old, and until 3 days ago, I thought I knew the woman I was going to marry. Her name was Bethany. We'd been together for 4 years, engaged for 8 months. I'm a civil engineer, she's a brand consultant. We had the kind of relationship people called goals on social media: trips to Portugal, matching coffee mugs, a golden retriever named Walter. I wanted kids. Not immediately, but eventually. We talked about it early on, back when conversations were hypothetical and easy. She'd smiled, nodded, said something vague about "when the time is right." I took that as agreement. Looking back, I realized she never actually said yes. The cracks started showing about 6 weeks ago. Bethany began spending more time with her co-worker Vanessa, this sharp-dressed woman with opinions on everything. Suddenly Bethany was talking about body autonomy and societal expectations in ways that felt rehearsed. I didn't think much of it. People evolve. I tried to be supportive. Then came Tuesday morning. We were in the kitchen. I was making eggs. She was scrolling through her phone with coffee in hand. I mentioned my brother's pregnancy announcement. His wife was due in February, and said something casual about how excited I was to be an uncle, how I hoped we'd have that someday too. Bethany didn't look up from her screen. "You'll have to think about getting a vasectomy," she said, voice flat. "I'm not going to ruin my body for your children." I stopped mid-flip, spatula frozen over the pan. "What?" She finally looked at me, and her expression was cold, detached. "I've been doing a lot of thinking. Pregnancy destroys women's bodies. It's painful, it's disfiguring, and statistically, it's dangerous. I'm not doing that. If you want kids so badly, you can adopt. Or find someone else." "Your children," I repeated slowly. "Not our children. Mine." "Well, they'd be yours biologically," she said, like I was being pedantic. "I'd just be the incubator." "No thanks." I turned off the stove. My appetite was gone. "Bethany, we talked about this." "You knew I wanted?" "I never agreed to anything," she interrupted. "You assumed. That's on you." The casual cruelty of it stunned me. For years, and I was just finding out that one of the biggest things we'd supposedly agreed on was a lie she'd let me believe. "So what exactly are you proposing?" I asked, keeping my voice level. She shrugged. "Like I said, vasectomy. Adoption if you're desperate. Or we don't have kids. Plenty of people don't. We'd have more freedom, more money." "Vanessa says." "I don't care what Vanessa says." Bethany's eyes narrowed. "Don't be dismissive. She's helped me see things clearly." "Clearly," I echoed. "Right." She stood, smoothing her blouse. "I have to get to work. Think about it. This is what's fair." She grabbed her purse, kissed my cheek like nothing had happened, and walked out. I stood in that kitchen for 10 minutes, staring at the half-cooked eggs. Then I called my buddy Aaron. "Dude," Aaron said when I finished explaining. "That's insane. Tell me I'm not overreacting." "You're not. She basically just said your dreams don't matter, and you should surgically eliminate them to make her comfortable. That's not compromise, that's control." I exhaled hard. "What do I do?" "Honestly, you know what you do." I did. I just didn't want to admit it yet. I spent the rest of the day calling vendors. The wedding was scheduled for April, 4 months away. We'd already paid deposits on the venue, the caterer, the photographer. I didn't care. I called every single one and explained there'd been a change of plans. Most were understanding. A few were annoyed. I lost about $6,000 between cancellation fees and non-refundable deposits. Worth every penny. The venue coordinator, Patricia, had been the hardest call. "Mr. Hayes, are you absolutely certain? We have a no-refund policy after the 6-month mark." "I understand. Cancel it anyway." "May I ask what happened?" "You two seemed so excited when you booked. Let's just say we discovered we want different things." She'd sighed. "I'm sorry. I hope you find what you're looking for." "Me too." By the time Bethany got home at 6, the apartment was quiet. I'd packed 2 suitcases, my clothes, my laptop, some books. I'd removed my name from the lease. We'd been month to month anyway. Walter was at Aaron's. The engagement ring sat in the center of the dining table, next to a handwritten note. I heard her keys in the door. "Babe," she called. "Why is it so dark in here?" I was sitting on the couch, hands folded. She flicked on the light and saw me. "What's going on?" she asked, frowning. Read the note, I said. She walked to the table slowly, suspicious. Picked up the paper. I watched her face as she read. Bethany, I've canceled the wedding. All of it. Venue, caterer, photographer, flowers. I've also moved out. My name is off the lease as of Friday. You told me this morning that you won't ruin your body for my children. And you're right. They would be my children, because clearly you never intended to be part of that future. You've known for 4 years what I wanted, and you let me believe we were on the same page. That's not a difference of opinion. That's deception. I don't want someone who sees having a family with me as some kind of personal sacrifice she's unwilling to make. I want a partner who actually wants the same life I do. You're not that person. The ring's yours if you want it. I don't. I hope Vanessa's advice keeps you warm. Bethany's hands started shaking. You canceled the wedding? Every bit of it. You can't just. Nathan, we can talk about this. I didn't mean, yes, you did. I stood up. You meant every word. And honestly, I think you felt this way for a while. You just finally said it out loud. Her eyes filled with tears. This is insane. You're throwing away 4 years over one conversation. One conversation where you told me my life goals don't matter and I should sterilize myself to accommodate you. Yeah, Bethany. That's enough. She dropped the note, rushed toward me. Nathan, please. I love you. We can work this out. I'll think about it. Maybe we can, maybe. I picked up my suitcase. No. I'm not spending the next 5 years waiting for you to think about it, while you resent me for wanting kids. I'm not doing this. Where are you going? Errands. Then I'll figure it out. Bethany's face twisted. The tears stopped. You're being selfish. You're punishing me because I won't destroy my body for you. I'm leaving because you lied to me for 4 years. There's a difference. She grabbed my arm. My mother's going to ask questions. My friends. Everyone's going to. Tell them whatever you want, I said, pulling free. Tell them I'm a monster. I don't care anymore. I left. She didn't follow me. The next 72 hours were a blur. I stayed at errands, fielded approximately 60 text messages from Bethany ranging from apologetic to furious, and ignored calls from her mother and 2 of her friends. Erin's girlfriend, Lauren, brought me coffee and asked if I was okay. Not even a little bit, I admitted. You did the right thing, Lauren said. For what it's worth. Doesn't feel like it. It will. Aaron had set me up in his guest room. The walls were bare except for a single poster of some indie band I didn't recognize. I lay there the first night, staring at the ceiling, replaying every conversation Bethany and I had ever had about the future. How had I missed this? How had I been so blind? My phone buzzed constantly. Bethany's texts came in waves. Nathan, please. Can we just talk? You're overreacting. This is ridiculous. I can't believe you're doing this to me. Fine. Be that way. You were never mature enough for marriage anyway. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. Please come home. I didn't respond to any of them. On Thursday afternoon, Bethany's best friend, Simone, called me. I almost didn't answer. Nathan, what the hell is going on? Simone demanded. Bethany's saying you just left. She's devastated. Did she tell you what she said to me? Silence. She said you two had a disagreement about kids. A disagreement, I repeated bitterly. She told me to get a vasectomy because she's not going to ruin her body for my children. She's known for 4 years I wanted a family, and she waited until 8 months into our engagement to drop that bomb. More silence. Then, oh, yeah. Nathan, look, I didn't know it was that bad. She made it sound like you were being unreasonable. I'm sure she did. For what it's worth, I think she's been listening to Vanessa too much. That woman's a lot. She got divorced last year and has this whole thing about men trapping women with kids. Not my problem anymore, I said. I hope Bethany figures it out. I really do. But I'm not waiting around for her to decide whether or not my dreams are worth considering. Simone sighed. I'm sorry. I really thought you two would make it. So did I. That evening my mom called. I'd been dreading it. Nathan, honey, what happened? Bethany's mother called me in tears. I explained the situation as calmly as I could. When I finished, there was a long pause. Oh, sweetheart, Mom said quietly. I'm so sorry. You think I did the right thing? I think you did the only thing you could do. You can't build a life with someone who doesn't want the same life. Dad would have told me to try harder. Your father, she said carefully, stayed in a marriage where he and I wanted different things. And it made us both miserable for years before we figured it out. Don't be like us, Nathan. You're smarter than that. I hadn't expected that. Thanks, Mom. Go be happy. Find someone who actually deserves you. By Friday, word had spread. My brother called, supportive but shocked. A few mutual friends reached out, confused. I told them all the same thing. Bethany and I wanted different lives, and I wasn't interested in compromising on something this fundamental. One friend, Greg, tried to play devil's advocate. Man, don't you think you're being a little extreme? Couldn't you guys have gone to counseling or something? Greg, she told me to get a vasectomy. She called potential children my children, not ours. She's been lying to me for 4 years. What exactly would counseling fix? He didn't have an answer for that. On Saturday morning, I went back to the apartment to get the last of my things. Bethany was there, puffy-eyed and pale. She'd clearly been crying for days. Nathan, she started. I'm just here for my stuff. I talked to a therapist, she blurted out. She said maybe I've been reactive. Because of Vanessa. She thinks I'm pushing you away because I'm scared. I stopped packing. Scared of what? Of losing myself. Of becoming someone's mom and nothing else. Vanessa's always saying that pregnancy is a trap, that women who have kids give up their identities, and I got in my head about it. Bethany, stop. I don't care what Vanessa says. I need you to tell me, do you actually want kids? Not, maybe someday, not I'll think about it. Yes or no? She opened her mouth, closed it, looked at the floor. I don't know. After 4 years, you don't know. It's complicated. It's not, though. You either want them or you don't. And if you don't, that's fine. But you should have told me that 3 years ago instead of letting me plan a future that was never going to happen. Her voice cracked. So that's it. You're just done. I zipped the duffel bag, turned to face her. I think we've been done for a while. We just didn't know it. She started crying again, harder this time. I love you, Nathan. I know. But that's not enough. What if I change my mind? What if you won't? And even if you did, I'd never know if it was real or if you were just trying to keep me. I can't live like that. She sank onto the couch, face in her hands. I felt bad, but not bad enough to stay. I left. For real this time. Update 1 3 weeks later, I'm in a new apartment across town. Walter's with me. Aaron helped me move in, and Lauren brought groceries and a housewarming plant she promised I couldn't kill. I've been hitting the gym, focusing on work, trying not to think about what could have been. Bethany texted me once more, 2 days ago. Just 3 words. I'm sorry, Nathan. I didn't reply. What would I even say? Sorry doesn't give me back the 4 years I spent building toward a future she never wanted. I heard through Simone that Bethany and Vanessa had a falling out. Apparently Vanessa told Bethany she was weak for apologizing to me, and Bethany finally saw how toxic that friendship was. Simone said Bethany's been going to therapy twice a week, trying to figure out what she actually wants from life. Good for her. I mean that. But it's not my problem anymore. Work has been a good distraction. I picked up a new project, designing a bridge system for a municipal contract. It's complex, demanding, exactly what I need. My boss, Richard, pulled me aside last week. You doing okay, Hayes? Heard about the wedding. I'm fine. Better, actually. He nodded. Good. Take all the time you need, but I'm glad you're here. You're one of my best. That meant more than I expected it to. Last night, I was walking Walter when I ran into a woman from my gym. Her name's Adelaide. We chatted a few times, nothing serious. She asked how I was doing, and I gave her the short version. Canceled wedding, fresh start, figuring things out. That takes guts, she said. Most people would have tried to force it. Yeah, well, I'm too old to waste time on maybe. She smiled. Good for you. We talked for 20 minutes. She's a landscape architect, recently moved to the city for work. She has a sense of humor that caught me off guard. Dry, sharp, self-deprecating in the best way. When Walter started pulling toward a squirrel, she laughed. He's got priorities. Always. She gave me her number before we parted ways. If you ever want to grab coffee. No pressure. I'm not ready to date yet, but it felt good to connect with someone who wasn't part of the wreckage. Update 2. It's been 6 weeks now. I'm settling into the new place. I bought actual furniture instead of living out of boxes. I joined a recreational soccer league. I'm sleeping better. My brother's wife had her baby last week, a girl named Iris. I went to the hospital, held my niece, felt that weird combination of joy and grief. This is what I wanted. Not now, but eventually. With someone who wanted it too. You okay? My brother asked when he found me staring out the hospital window. Yeah. She's perfect. You'll have this someday, Nate. With someone who actually wants it. Maybe. Not maybe. You will. I want to believe him. I texted Adelaide 3 days ago. We got coffee yesterday. It was easy, comfortable. We talked about work, about the city, about terrible reality TV shows we're both embarrassed to watch. She didn't ask about Bethany. I appreciated that. When we said goodbye, she touched my arm briefly. This was nice. It was. Let's do it again sometime. I'd like that. I don't know what happens next. Maybe Adelaide and I become friends. Maybe something more. Maybe nothing at all. But at least I'm moving forward. I don't know what's next for Bethany either. Simone mentioned she's been dating someone new, a guy from her yoga class who apparently doesn't want kids either. Good. I hope they're happy. I mean that without bitterness. I look at that ring sometimes, the one Bethany left on the table. I sold it last week. Got about 60% of what I paid. Used the money to buy a new couch and donate to my brother's daughter's college fund. Some part of me will always wonder what might have been if Bethany and I had been honest with each other from the start. But I can't live in that hypothetical. I'm 32 years old. I have time. I have options. I have a dog who thinks I'm the greatest person alive and a niece who'll grow up knowing her uncle loves her. And honestly, that's enough for now. I'm not waiting for someone to decide if I'm worth choosing. Next time, I'll find someone who already knows.